Hello everybody, this is Casey with SimplePotential.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Ludum Dare 34 competition entry. Not only was this my first competition entry, but it was also my very first completed game. While I've made several prototypes over the years, this was the very first game that I had completed in a playable fashion that other people might want to take a look at. For those who don't know, a competition entry requires that the game be built in 48 hours and that you must build all the code, art, and sound assets on your own. You can't use anything created by somebody else, and you cannot work in a team. So with that in mind, the theme of the competition was 2-button controls, or you could have went with the theme grow. I went with the 2-button controls, and you could kind of argue that I also incorporated grow, as the point of the game is to grow your score as high as you possibly can. The 2-button control system involves using the right mouse button or the left alt key, either one, to fly around the screen. And Stickman Sam in the High Fly Sky is the title of the game, and Stickman Sam is the character I use for my prototypes. And what he'll do is he'll flap his arms around to fly around the screen. And you want to try to avoid birds as you fly around. If they run into you, you'll lose stamina, and if you run out of stamina, you will lose the game. You can also lose stamina just by flying for too long, so as you keep the mouse button down, you will lose stamina over time. You can release the button and he'll fall, but you'll gain stamina back fairly quickly. However, if you fall off the screen, you're going to die. So keep that in mind. You want to try to balance the stamina usage to the actual flying and falling. If you run into birds, they're going to take away stamina. I believe I already mentioned that. And you do have a superpower, which is where the second button control comes in, which is the left mouse button or the left control key. And what this will do is release a sonic scream that will kill all the birds on the screen. As you're avoiding birds, it's important to remember that the birds themselves will lose interest in the player over time and they'll fly away, but new birds will spawn in their place and start to chase you again. So there is a very slight AI component built into this, but it's not very complicated AI. The code for this is all available on my website, SimplePotential.com, and there will be links to all that in the description. I do appreciate any suggestions or feedback you want to give on this game. Like I said, this is the very first completed game I've completed, and it was also built in a 48-hour window, so please keep that in mind. And you can also view sample code on my website as well. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And you will see as we play that you also have bonuses that will fall from the sky. The stars give you invincibility against birds, so like I'm invincible, so I can run into the bird there. I'm not invincible right now, so if I run into him, I do this. A booster will allow you to fly without using stamina, and you gain stamina back in that process. If I let go of the mouse, I can fly, or not fly, but I can fall, and I'll use stamina. And like right now, there's a lot of birds, so if I hit the left mouse button, they'll go away. But I lose stamina, and as you can see, I'm almost dead. So I need to keep flying up, try to balance it again. You can also see my high score at the top there. It does track your high score. And you get a little notice that your superpower is ready when it's ready. And when you die, you lose game. The quit button is on the web version of the game, and I need to get rid of that. That is a bug in the game. Restart will restart the game, and you do get to continue getting higher here. Higher scores. I've yet to beat this high score of my own. However, I have seen other people playing my game that have done much better at it than I have. I had some fairly mixed reviews about this game, and there are a couple of bugs in the game. One of which, worth mentioning, is if you move the mouse off of the right-hand screen, you're going to get a context menu, and you could fall and die. In some cases, the game will actually pause. That's what it should do when it loses focus. However, there's a bug there, and I'm not exactly sure why it's not doing that offhand. I don't know if this is a game I'll ever revisit and correct any of those bugs, but it is worth mentioning here. Alt is another issue. If I use the Alt key, it will pause the game, because in the web version, and that is because it's trying to load the context menus for the browser. So I can't really break around that. The way to fix that would be to obviously code these as like A and S or something of that nature, where you're not using any special function keys to actually control your character. With that in mind, you can come back in and point and click and get in there. Bonuses probably fall a little bit too often, and they are completely random when they decide to fall. So that's something else I would probably revisit if I ever did decide to revisit it. And you can't have overlapping power-ups, so a star will replace a booster and a booster will replace a star. And as you use your Sonic Scream, it will reduce your stamina. And you can see my superpower is now ready again, so I could use it again if I wanted. So that's basically the game. I'm going to go ahead and just let it die there. There is a downloadable version of the game that wouldn't have the control bugs that you're seeing. But, however, it does not have some of the newer features that I've implemented in the game because I didn't recompile it as per the game competition outline. I did some changes to it after the fact, and I haven't updated the source code or anything for that. So some of the source code that you're seeing in the itch.io version of the game, you're not going to see in the source code or in the downloadable version of the game. That's not to say it's not still playable, but I wanted to try to leave it in its original format for the competition. And I will probably, at some point, go back and just recompile that version and put the new code out there on my website so it can be looked at as well. If you like this game, or if you want to see some other games I've created, check out my website, simplepotential.com. You can see under projects Ludum Dare, you can see all the Ludum Dare entries I've done. At the moment there are 2, Ludum Dare 34, which I'm recording a new video for right now, and Ludum Dare 35, which was the last competition that I did around the theme Shapeshift, and it's a much better game, and I'd recommend you check it out and the code for it out if you're wanting to learn how to make a game, or if you're just wanting to see samples of my code. And with that, I think that is going to be the end of this video. So thank you for watching.